What's up? It's me. How about maybe with hiccups right now? And a creaky ass chair that I'm sitting on. So, I wanted to talk about something that I think is pretty important. In June, one of my favorite games is getting new content added to it. And just one second. Sorry about that. That chair is really creaky and my hiccups are causing it to squeak too much. So, I just got out of the shower, as you see. And as I was saying, one of my favorite games is getting new content added to it. Now, if you're familiar with the channel in any way, shape, or form, I'm sure you know what that is. Magic the Gathering. I started playing Magic the Gathering in November of last year, and I have become addicted. It's really fun. I really like it. I like playing the game, but recently, I just am not excited for the Marvel superhero set. Now, I don't believe that Universes Beyond in total is bad for Magic the Gathering. I'm not one of those people who's like, collaboration's too bad. I think a lot of collaboration can be a little excessive, but I think it can also be sorry, got a notification there and a hair in my mouth. Let me restart that. I think the collaboration between franchises can be pretty good, bring in new people and offer a new experience. Dead by Daylight does collaboration really well. If you don't want to take part in some of the cosmetic collaborations, you don't really have to. And I personally believe that all the collaborative killers are really well designed. All the collaboration perks are really well designed. I think they're really well done, and I think they're really great. That is not the case for Universes Beyond and Magic the Gathering. My favorite Universes Beyond set would probably be the one that came out around the time I started playing, which would be Avatar. Avatar was pretty fun. I didn't go to any events, but I have a few Avatar cards. They're quite fun, and I personally don't believe that even like the best card from that set, Badger Mole Cub, is pretty balanced in all honesty. It can be pretty broken, but with cheap removal instants and sorceries, it's not the biggest deal. Now, when it comes to other things, I am not so charitable when it comes to other Universes Beyond sets. First of all, a lot of these sets do not fit the theme of Magic the Gathering. Now, I think that personally, if you're going to do a collaboration, it should fit the theme or something. Like Dead by Daylight, I understand that there are some people who are like, it doesn't need to be horror characters. It can be completely non-horror characters. I don't agree. I think that there should be horror adjacent. Characters should be horror adjacent at the very least. Like Vecna, the Lich, and Lara Croft come from some horror adjacent franchises. Well, Dungeons and Dragons can be horror adjacent at the very least. That, when it comes to Magic the Gathering, is not the case. It really doesn't fit. How the hell is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Spider-Man anything to do with Magic the Gathering? It doesn't feel like Magic the Gathering. You're telling me that this place where we had wars between different species, we have the 5 manas that come from the void, basically. I'm probably doing a bad job exploring the little lore that I do know. Telling me all of that, Spider-Man. It doesn't feel like it's coming in and slotting in correctly. It feels like it's just there for the sake of a crossover, and I don't like that, and I just don't want it. But that could be forgiven if the cards were well put together. And I'm going to be honest here, sports fans, I'm not a big fan of many Universes Beyond cards. I think that, personally, Avatar The Last Airbender has, one, it fits in as a crossover with Magic the Gathering, and two, has some well-designed cards. The Spider-Man set is just like the worst set ever made, probably. And it's the cards are horrible. The cards are awful. Like every card except maybe Soulstone and Spider Sense cannot just be. You have to build a deck around every single card in this in this one, which isn't too bad. I know it is. It is bad. You should just be able to. Each set should have a bunch of cards that you can just put into a deck. You know, it's like, oh, this will work as a substitute for this spell, but that's not the case with with the Spider-Man cards, or a good majority of them anyway. And again, Spider-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Marvel Superhero don't feel like they belong in Magic the Gathering. Now, there is a Universes Beyond set from 2025 that I have not mentioned yet. And that's Final Fantasy. I personally feel like Final Fantasy is close enough, like, to actually be a pretty good crossover. There's just one small problem. Every Final Fantasy card is balls to the walls overpowered. Not everyone, but you know what I mean. Sephiroth, Tifa, Y'shtola especially are all horrendous to play against. They are so horribly unfun. Overpowered cards can indeed lead to a fun experience for everybody. However, when it comes to something of this caliber, where almost every card is just broken, the best in its slot, why do that? It feels like they can't have a hit. It feels like they can't have just a good Universes Beyond set other than Avatar. It feels like every Universes Beyond set is just either overpowered or horrendous. Like, the only, like, again, Spider-Man had so few good cards that you could just put into a deck. You had to build around them effectively, and it's just not fun. Whereas with something like Lorwyn Eclipse, let me see if I can find some Lorwyn Eclipse cards in here. This is actually great. This is my Rakdos Goblins deck, and the commander is Grub, Storied Matriarch from Lorwyn Eclipse. Now, her first side is all about taking goblins out of the graveyard. However, her other side, you can blight one to you can blight one on a creature, create a tapped and attacking copy of that creature, which allows her to make some great enter the battlefield effects. And I personally want to tweak this deck to make it not just 98% of my creatures are goblins. I want to reduce that because I think there's some cool things I can do with Grub outside of just goblin synergy. And I really like this commander. She's a ton of fun. She is mainly goblin focused. However, she's not only goblin focused because she can work with a bunch of things. If you run shapeshifters and maybe some goblin spells, along with other things that are focused around the graveyard, she's a good card, not just in the commander slot, but in 99. Spider-Man, amazing, fantastic Spider-Man, you have to build a spider deck around. No if, and, or buts. It has to be a spider. It basically has to be a spider deck. I think I got the right Spider-Man. It's just so not interesting. And that not every card like this, one of the Ultron cards is pretty cool. I can build some cool decks around that, but as a whole, I just feel disappointed because Universes Beyond, you can be a little creative. It's creative how they brought earthbending, firebending, waterbending, airbending into Magic the Gathering. Other times, like with Ninja Turtles, there's no creativity, there's nothing. It is so just uninteresting. And it's just a snooze fest, honestly. Strixhaven, which a lot of people don't think Secrets of Strixhaven this year was that good a set. I still thought it was creative at the very least, and it gave me a few cards that I actually do quite like. A bunch of cards that I actually quite like. Noxious New is a favorite mana dork for me because it's a mana dork that also has Death Touch. That's just pretty good. But I don't care about the Marvel superhero set. I don't care about the Hobbit set that's coming out. I just don't care about these Universes Beyond products. I just want more sets like Lorwyn Eclipse, please. Less sets like Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Superheroes. I mean, okay, Mjolnir. Like, as a final example, Grubb is worthy to wield Mjolnir. Grubb. This card is worthy of wielding Mjolnir. This card. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm just not excited for Universes Beyond. I hope Wizards of the Coast scales back Universes Beyond stuff, but with collaborations just being the talk of the town in games, even outside of video games, what's the chance of that happening? Anyway, I just want to say that. I don't like you. I'm not looking forward to this set. My fellow Magic fans, have fun, and at least we don't have a bunch of scalpers like Pokemon.